when I started making money, I go, I feel weird accepting this kind of money. And now I'm realizing that everybody's making money. The plumber's making money, the electrician's making money, like I shouldn't feel bad. I have so much overhead that I should just accept it. And I became better at that. But I think, I'm still a novice in the business world game, but it's been cool. I'm learning about it. And I think, it's just a kind of a learning experience and you're just getting comfortable with the whole business realm of it all.
Welcome to the Lion's Den, hosted by Lance Bachman.
Everybody, welcome to this edition of The Den. I got Peter Andrade. He's changing people's lives around the world with plastic surgery, helping them out. He's on a mission instead of chasing the grind here every day. Dr. Peter, how you doing? Thank you for being on The Den, my friend.
I'm good. Thank you for having me, man. It's been fun getting down here, and it's a cool studio. I've never really immersed myself in something like this, so it's cool.
Well, tell the viewers who you are, Doctor.
Yeah, so I'm a simple man. My parents are from Ecuador. I grew up in South Florida. I went to medical school down there, and I came up to New York City, fell in love with it for training, and now I'm a plastic and reconstructive surgeon in New York City and Jersey City area.
So we're going to talk about how you've grown from 1 to 3 locations, which is impressive.
Yeah.
You got a new product coming out, which is the Uber, the Lyft, the Grubhub of Botox and injections and fillers, as you call them, in Manhattan. Which is pretty cool. It's called Butex or Butique. Butique. I get the worst Northeast Philly slur you could have, right? And we're going to talk about how you grow into all this, and really your biggest thing is your mission, going around for 13 years now on different trips and giving free plastic surgery out to cancer patients and hurt kids. And so we'll talk about that. So first of all, let's jump right into it. You have 3 locations. You opened up your first location when?
First location I opened up, I joined a practice about 3 years ago. So I've been out of the game of plastic surgery training for about 3 years. So it takes forever. I'm 40 years old now. You imagine starting your career at 37 years old, Half my friends went into Wall Street at 21. So I'm kind of late to the game, but I joined a practice in, I guess it was 2018, and had a year of practice as an associate with my mentor, who's a beautiful human being, and he showed me a lot of things. And then boom, the pandemic just shortly thereafter. So it's been a whirlwind and kind of trial by fire, like we discussed before, but it's been fun.
So you're a doctor by trade and not a businessman. I tell people there's a big difference between being a doctor, showing up and
slowly learning it,
meeting patients.
Absolutely.
To, I got to deal with a P&L, marketing, rent. I got to deal with contractors. I got to deal with payroll, HR. Can you talk to us about navigating that quickly? Yeah.
I was pretty foreign to all that stuff. I was a product of my old man was a physician, and he had his own private practice, but it was cash pay, so. He didn't deal with insurance companies, reimbursements. He had a very low overhead. It was a very rudimentary practice. And to me, jumping in and signing contracts and having a practice that we have a ton of overhead, I spoke to friends about, like, when I started making money, I go, I feel weird accepting this kind of money. And now I'm realizing that everybody's making money. The plumber's making money, the electrician's making money, like I shouldn't feel bad. I have so much overhead that I should just accept it. And I became better at that. But I think, I'm still a novice in the business world game, but it's been cool. I'm learning about it. And I think, it's just a kind of a learning experience and you're just getting comfortable with the whole business realm of it all.
Besides making money, which thank God you are, because you should be making money, right? What has been like one of the biggest challenges since you've been out on your own, like especially during a pandemic in New York? I mean, let's be realistic here. New York has been, people have been flying out of New York, just running from the city for a lot of different reasons. I'm not here to talk politics, but,
right.
What's some of the biggest challenges you've seen?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I think you said it, the pandemic, when it hit in, March, 2 years ago, it was brutal, and my practice came down to nothing. We couldn't operate unless it was emergencies. So there was some oral maxillofacial traumas that came in that I have to go, so I do it, but certainly not any cosmetic stuff. So that all came to a screeching halt, and then through my nonprofit organization, we had this idea to raise money for families of victims that they couldn't afford funeral services. And I don't know if you remember back at the beginning or the height of the pandemic in New York City, they were burying people in mass burials because there wasn't enough room in to put the patients anywhere else, and the families couldn't afford to have him a proper funeral. So imagine being at a mass graveyard site with, 100 other people that just couldn't afford it. So we started this campaign. I think we called it something sexy, probably like Re-NYC or something. But we raised a lot of money for it, and we gave a lot of people a lot of good, proper funerals for their loved ones that they couldn't afford. And that was a product of myself and my girlfriend. I think she was she had the good idea. She always has the good ideas of everything. So.
Of course she does. So if you like this content and you're trying to grow your business, follow me at Lance Bachman and Lance Bachman Digital on Facebook. LFG, time to grow. Here's a question for you. You said something too, as we got to know. You said your mission is to change lives around the world, right? Instead of the rat race and the grind. We do here every day, right? It is a rat race to grind.
Yeah.
Can you talk to why that mission's so important to you? Why you want to change? Is it the way you grew up? Has someone taught you to give back?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's probably likely in my formative years. You probably hit on something there. I'm Ecuadorian. It's kind of let's not hide it. It's a socialist country, and I think in socialism, everyone belongs to this one communal thing. I mean, again, we're not here to talk politics. So I'm not going to say, capitalism, socialism. But it's a communal feel with healthcare is provided for everyone. Here in this country, we're blessed to have jobs and make money and get the best kind of healthcare we can if we choose to do that. But in some impoverished areas in third world countries, they don't have that option, or they get the government provided physician who's wildly underqualified to do a surgery to do it for that person. So we go out to very impoverished towns in Belize, Ecuador, Guatemala, twice a year and do kind of these surgeries. I'm a plastic surgeon. We bring on general surgeons to do appendix, gallbladder. We bring on we've brought on our own anesthesiologist and pain management patients for pain management doctors for knees and stuff like that. So it's good. And like I told you before, it's a way to ground yourself, get out of the rat race, unplug, and change someone's life. Whether you are doing the marketing for it or whether you're actually there doing your craft, I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of what you feel, what you gain from that. It'll change you. Certainly give you perspective at the very least.
We need more doctors like you going out and doing things like this, and just people in general. I mean, you said something about it being a rat race and just a grind. I think it's interesting. You said you felt bad about making money.
Yeah, weird, right?
You shouldn't, though. And I hope you make a lot more of it because you should make money, right? You work hard, you should make money.
Yeah. I'm slowly learning that.
You opened up 3 locations. What separates you? 'Cause, what separates you from your competition, do you think? Because they grow in a pandemic in New York where things are closing down, especially in your space.
Yeah.
Now you're...
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I think so. It's as simple as something as just being authentic and passionate about what you love to do. Having, empathy with your patients, if you can do empathy or sympathize with your patients. That goes a long, long way. I think when patients hear that, this doctor, he's a younger guy. He cares. He puts his hand on my hand when he discusses certain plans. I think that kind of personal touch it goes a long, long way, and that reverberates in the community. And they start talking about your name, and kind of word of mouth, spreads pretty quickly if you really come off as authentic and passionate.
You do a lot of breast augmentations. That's probably number 1.
Yeah, I would say more than the cosmetic. I do like a breast reconstruction. So for cancer patients that have breast cancer, they would come to me after they speak to their mastectomy surgeon, and I would talk to them about rebuilding their breasts, after cancer, essentially.
And then
so I do a lot of that. Yeah.
What's second and third on your list?
I would say I do a lot of second, probably hand surgery. We do a lot of that. Some oral maxillofacial surgery. And then cosmetic, I have the reconstructive realm of what I do, and then I have the cosmetic realm of what I do.
And the cosmetic realm, let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. Boutique, right?
Boutique, baby, boutique coming to you.
Coming to you. Where'd you come with the ideal? It's incredible. I mean, it blows my mind. I've had the IV treatments in my home, right?
Yeah. So
this is just going on steroids.
It started with that. Me and my friend, my Guatemalan brother, shout out Dr. Fidel Garcia. He came to me with an idea over a couple of cocktails when most good ideas come to me when they're not from my girlfriend. And he said he started this, he kind of flirted around with the concierge space and the hospitality stuff and the IV business, and he wanted to make his niche as like this IV doctor, but for kids, because he's pediatric background trained. He's ER doctor, but pediatric doctor. And he said, hey, man, why don't we do this for, like, can you do Botox and fillers in someone's home? I'm like, I can do it in a parking lot. It doesn't change anything. It can be in my office. It's, whatever. It could be in a parking lot. It doesn't matter. We're kind of just a light bulb went off and said, does anybody do this in Manhattan? We never heard of this. Like, I should hear about this. And, people, from who I tell, and we've been, talking to friends, and everyone says it's a great idea. I think we just have to execute it well and, do the digital marketing as best as we can. Now that I'm understanding the utility of all that stuff.
We'll jump in that. And what people don't realize is people now will pay for just not to go out of their house. I mean, we were talking about Grubhub,
convenience, man.
Uber Eats, like,
oh my God,
the IV treatment, right? And people will say, you know what? I'll pay because I don't want to sit 45 minutes to an hour in a waiting room. Yeah. And plus drive 45 minutes.
Go to the ER and sit next to the drunk asshole for 8 hours until the doctor puts an IV in, or the nurse, I guess, in that instance. But, you can get it and charge it to your healthcare for free or whatever your copay for the ER is versus, you pay a convenience fee. You lay in bed, you stay, you're watching your movie, whatever you like, Inception or How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days or whatever it is, right? and you get your IV treatment at home. It's a beautiful thing. Like, we're moving towards that.
I think we're moving a lot more towards it than people think at a lot faster rate.
Yeah, I mean, agree.
It's just, and I think doctors never thought they were going to have to adapt to that. And I think people like you that are young still, relatively, for being a doctor.
Relatively,
for a doctor, you're saying, okay, there's a market out there that would easily pay for me to come in Manhattan to their apartment.
Absolutely.
Go to them and get Botox, get a filler. Yeah. I'm taking out the whole butt ache of having to drive to you, having to wait in your room. I so think, many factors.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if it's done by, you have to keep it by credentialed people, providers, doctors, nurses, practice, whatever. They have to do it well. The service and the product has to be, paramount. But other than that, people don't want to get out of the house and wait in an office, man.
Not no more.
That's the worst part about going to the doctor's office is going to the doctor's office, right? Now, so we can do it at home.
So let's talk about this. You brought up a good point. When we were talking, you said digital marketing plays a big role in your business, right? As it grows. Why are reviews so important, doctor? Like, and you talked about it. You didn't think they were.
Yeah, we had a conversation about this. How I came in as a simple man, novice to the world. I thought I was a open up shop, Dr. Peter Andrade, and everyone's gonna come flooding into it. It doesn't work that way. And I didn't even know. I told you about the review experience with me. I had a patient said, "Hey, we found you on Google reviews." And I go, what's that? I'm like, what are you talking about? Google reviews? And they're like, no, you see, we have like great reviews and everyone loves you. And I go, oh, wow, I had no idea. So I checked it out, and sure enough, I got, I think, 4 out of 4 stars, 5 out of 5 stars, whatever it is, the most. A+, gold stars. And after that, I just brainstorming with you, I should just put systems in place where people just review me as they leave, because people want to see that. And it's no different. I don't know why I didn't think about this before. When I go on, Etsy or Wayfair or whatever, Home Depot, and you're looking at a product,
of course,
you want to see what everyone else says, because the people can put all the glitz and glam on that product and make it seem like it's the best thing that you need, but you trust somebody else that say, hey, yeah, I liked it, but it's got a bad stench, or it's not tall enough, or whatever.
Your reviews, I tell people this all the time, is your best sales tool.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's just no one else except for your customers talking about you. Mm-hmm. It's so, why would your experience be any different than all these other people that had experiences with me?
Yeah. I think you're right about that.
So let's talk about that. How's social media, changed your business? Has social media become a big piece of it? Is it storytelling, or are you still?
I kind of. There was trouble for me navigating through those waters, being a plastic surgeon in social media, right? I never had social media. I never had, Instagram until I started my practice, and everyone's like, what are you doing? You have to have a mission. So I started an Instagram account thinking it's going to be my personal life and some plastic surgery, but I don't want to be that inauthentic, tacky guy putting boobs on a screen before and after, and come to me for Botox Fridays, half off for Valentine's special. I just didn't want that. It just comes off again, like just tacky and just not right. I don't know. It just didn't sit with me well. So I do have an account. I fear that it's probably more personal than it is professional, but I think you could see a marriage of the two. But certainly now with Boutique, we're going to be launching, in a week. We have a handle already ready to fire up, and we have to take advantage of that.
And you have to push that.
Oh, yeah.
That can't even be a question.
Yeah.
At that point, or that's never going to get off the ground.
Yeah.
So, what are your goals heading into next year? From a business school, you opened up 3 businesses. I'm assuming they're all profitable by now at this point.
Yeah.
So, what's your goals for 2022?
I think grow. I think it's easy to stay viable. That's a feat in and of itself as a business, as an entity. But I think growing even more so is probably a bigger challenge. And how do you scale that growth and get the proper people underneath you, all the ancillary staff, and get your business growing to whatever you want it to be. I think in the boutique space, we're going to be launching, and that's going to we want to grow that, and we want that to be big. So hopefully.
What's the biggest challenge you see in that space to grow?
I think executing it from the get-go. You can either come out the gates running, or you can be just dead in the water right from the gate. That's my impression. I'm not an economist. I make no contributions to the economist. All that stuff is pretty foreign to me. But I think in my very minimal business experience, I think coming out the gates and executing it right. In a new business venture, that's got to be paramount.
And you're going into Manhattan, right? You're going to start there.
Yeah.
What's the feel in Manhattan since COVID?
Yeah.
I know congratulations on your condo you just bought.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah. You're going to come by for the housewarming?
Absolutely. So, my wife loves it. We stay at that Dreams Hotel not too far from here all the time.
Yeah.
We love it up there.
Yeah.
Question for you, though. What's the feel up there like? Do you think they're ready for this? Is New York coming back to life?
Absolutely.
Or do you feel like... Because people were running.
Oh, yeah. They're leaving Manhattan or New York City area and going to my hometown, South Florida, New York's back, baby. It's got a pulse, There's a couple memes that are pretty funny that I've seen that says, somebody posted like New York City's dead, don't come back, telling everybody who left we don't need you, get out of here. It was just it's funny, but yeah, it's certainly back. You walk the streets, there's people everywhere. The kids are doing their thing, the bars are packed to max capacity, the restaurants are open, everyone's inside. It's a beautiful thing, man.
So COVID's kind of left the city at this point.
Yeah. I think New York City did pretty, after, when it first came, it was harrowing and probably the heaviest experience of my life walking through those hospitals during that time. But since then, we recovered pretty well. There was another slight wave, and right now, I think we've been pretty good. Our numbers are really down. People are compliant with, vaccinations, whatever you believe in that. But, I'm an advocate for that. But yeah, it's back, man. There's a roar. There's a lion's roar.
I like that. What advice would you give to anyone that wants to be a surgeon right now, young people?
Yeah.
What advice would you send a final word to them? Hey, I'm in school. I want to be a plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, there's a lot of plastic surgeons, a lot of Botox places opening up, a lot throughout the country.
Yeah.
People are taking care of their bodies more, trying to look better more, trying not to age as fast.
Yeah.
Do you think the market's coming oversaturated, or do you think it's just beginning?
No, I don't think so. I think people, try to squelch my dreams of coming to New York City versus going to like Miami or LA, because those are the most saturated plastic surgery. Go out there, be yourself, be passionate about yourself. People respond to that. That resonates in people. They hear that. There is big name doctors everywhere in New York City, but when you walk into their office, they're a dinosaur. They have no personality, and are they going to really kind of be around if things go awry? Maybe, I don't know, but it's that rapport that you build with the patient. That's utmost importance. I think people really respond to that as far as setting yourself apart. If you could do any subspecialty of plastic surgery, which I did, to set yourself apart, for sure, that's marketable, right? You have a set of skills that no one else does, or that just few people in the world have, for sure. That sets you apart. But certainly be likable, be affable, be available for when people, somebody needs a laceration repaired at 11:30 at night and you're on a rooftop with your buddies. Go,
You said be available. The life has changed. We live in such a world. If you're not available, you're done. You're toast.
You move on.
People
for
move
sure.
on.
For sure, easy.
Move on.
Replaceable. Everybody's replaceable. Plastic surgeons were replaceable. We're disposable.
Thank you so much for being on the Den. How does anyone get in touch with you? Want to get in touch with you, Peter?
Probably Boutique, I think, is a new thing coming out. So it would be just search us on the Boutique website, and it's Boutique concierge.com. So BEAUTIQUE concierge.com.
Doctor, thank you so much for being on the Den. I appreciate it. Everyone, check him out. Great doctor, and he does a lot for a lot of people around the world. We need more people like you, doctor.
Thank you, man.